Good morning, everybody. Hope you are doing well. Let's talk about some stuff. I've been just so busy right now. Um, we got a Tampa show coming up. Dallas show just happened. Everything looked cool from the Dallas show. I mean, nobody like said anything right now that was like, "Oh my God, this show was better than the last show, or greater than the last show, or whatever it may be." I think it was just a standard Dallas show where stuff gets moved. I'm curious to see what the buying trend was. I've got to talk to Bryant from Tampa Card Shop yet, or really review a bunch of the videos from the actual show, other than a couple that were out early on. Just kind of walking the show a little bit and just talking and asking questions. The hobby's definitely slowed down, but I don't blame the recession that we're in. Yes, we are in a recession. I don't care what anybody says. If they think it's the recession, it's a recession already. So it is what it is. I'm getting ready to go pay for gas. It's going to be horrible. But the thing is I don't think there's enough new product pushing excitement, pushing drive, pushing want, creating need for people in the hobby right now. And it's part. There's two parts to this that are affecting the hobby the most, in my opinion, because there's going to be people out there going to buy. There's people that have plenty of money that the recession doesn't affect, to the point that they're still happy to spend, even if it's a couple $100 to $1,000 on a card. That's those guys. They just sit out there and just lurk. You know, they're the guys that, if this stuff does go down tremendously, that they're going to be the guys buying it, and they're going to be the guys that are going to have the most success later with it, because they'll be able to buy top dollar rare things because people panic sell because they need money. Unless you lose your job or you're overspending that you shouldn't be, for the most part, don't spend money you don't have, or that you can't get back. My thing is like, for instance, and I'm probably in the same boat as a lot of people, do I spend money that's extra money? Not really, but do I have enough assets in the cards, or equity in my cards versus what I bought them for, that at any point I get out, I'm still above what I put into that or got it for? And those are, to me, the safe versions of investment for cards. They always say, oh, it could go to zero. The only way it goes to zero is if the three most important things on this planet are food, water, and protection. And that's basically an apocalypse or a zombie invasion. Outside of that, certain things are always going to have value, be collectible. Somebody's going to want it. Again, unless there's some type of massive devastation to the planet, all this stuff will continue to create or have monetary value past it just being a picture on a card with a serial number on it or an autograph. So it's just, I feel like we're in this thing where everybody's woe is me thing. I mean, I'm not buying as much stuff, but it's also because there's not enough good stuff out there, and a lot of the stuff people are selling is just outrageously overpriced, even for what it is. I'm trying to buy a card, for instance, that honestly should be about $5 to $10, and somebody has it up there for $150. Because it's low serial numbered and it's rare, but it's of realistically nobody. Those type of situations drive me crazy. It's just like they're just fishing for the best offer they can get for somebody that has to have it. But they need to understand too, is in this environment that we're in, there's not a has to have it right now. There's a want to have. So unless you're in an extreme want to have, or you're putting it out there on auction to where the whales and the big guys on the backside that have all the money, or companies that are willing to gobble this stuff up right now to break it into fractions, are going to be buying it because it's a big enough card, then it is what it is. And I think trading is getting harder and more brutal towards the person trading, because right now the people selling cards to us, they're getting caught in a thing that they may not be making as much money because they're not moving as much product. And I just feel like everybody's creating this fear to buy. Not necessarily everybody on YouTube, TV, whatever it is, it's an influence. One way or another, put something in the back of somebody's mind on what to do, how to do it. Because let's face it, there's not a lot of leaders on this planet. There's a bunch of followers. And if you follow the right people, yes, you should always be successful. Why? Because they're successful. And there are certain people that just have that knack about them. They can stumble into a pile of dog crap and pull out gold. That's just how their luck is. And that's the only way to explain it. Okay? I know a guy that wins at scratch-offs non-stop all the time. And I'm not talking $5 or $10 either. I'm talking thousands of dollars all the time. But he plays all the time. You know, it's like being in breaks. You get into one break. Oh, it was horrible. I lost all this money. It was god awful. I can't do it. Well, what happens if you're in 10 breaks? What's your law of average at that point? And are you happy with that law of average at the end of the day? It's just something to think about. But go out there. As long as you're not hurting, you can try to find the bottom of this. But I don't know where that bottom's going to be. You know, the Michael Jordan rookie card, for instance, they're like, oh, keep selling for less. There's a lot of those. Those aren't rare. Realistically, they're not rare. They just hold a high value because people have always been paying for them. Personally, I think it's one of the most overvalued cards in the hobby. And I understand at a 10, maybe not, but a 2 should not cost me a couple grand or even more. It's just, that's ridiculous. I understand it's one of the greatest players, but I see all these guys that have these cards in these lower grades, and they're not moving them. Yes, it's a card that everybody pretty much wants in their collection. I agree with that. But it's not rare at all. You know, and it's just one of those things that kind of drives me a little bit crazy that everybody just makes it feel like it is when it really isn't. But, you know, it's just one of those things. I got to pop in here real quick, pick some stuff up from work. Hope everybody's doing well. Let me know what you think about this. Am I an idiot just rambling on? Probably. But maybe it's interesting to you. All right, guys. Take care. Getting a little content out there. And I'll catch you later. See ya.